Shit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Well, I'm back again. So what the fuck happened? Well, my computer updating itself and then corrupting itself happened. Yeah, it needed to update, so it's like, you know what? Well, Mosh is gone. I'm gonna update, but I'm going to fail to complete the update. I'm just gonna corrupt the operating system. Okay. Fuck you. So I had to go take it somewhere to get fixed, which prevented me from making this fucking absolute banger of a goddamn video. Oh, trust me, there's plenty of news that I missed. Like, because I had my iMac right next to me, but it's like, fuck. But nonetheless, as I slap my knee, this is a good one. As Texas once more is ignoring separation of church and state. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look through the goddamn fucking news and find the fuck out. Because Texas found the fuck out. They found out a way to groom your children into Christianity by going behind parents' back and literally injecting Bible readings into the curriculum starting in 2030. Yep, that's right. Starting in 2030, your child will now be required to learn about the Bible because of whatever bullshit they passed last Friday. Now, I gotta call out some hypocrisy here. Because if I'm not mistaken, the same people that passed this bill are literally the same fucking people that are screaming the LGBTQ community are trying to groom children into becoming gay and trans. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't this trying to groom children into Christianity? Because it's literally going behind parents' backs and modifying the curriculum so children are required to learn about Bible passages. Oh, and get this shit. It don't matter if you support another religion or if you're an atheist like me. No. You're still going to be shoved that shit down your throat, right? Now, let's flip the fucking script here. Because if this was a LGBTQ thing, and if this was students being taught about the trans community or the gay community or being lesbian or whatever, anything about the LGBTQ community, if they were learning anything about it at all, they'd immediately be called pedophiles, groomers, rapists, right? But when we try to inject a literal child sex cult into a school's curriculum, yes, Christianity is a literal child sex cult, because I'm pretty sure you look up blank pastor arrested for, put in Florida, whatever state, right? You put in blank pastor arrested for child kidnapping, child rape, molestation, murder, possession of child pornography. There's been quite a lot of Texas pastors arrested for that. Right? You look and there's over fucking whelming amounts of news reports on all kinds of different religious figures being arrested for harming children in some form or way. You hardly hear that about the LGBTQ community. Why? Because the whole LGBTQ community being groomers, the whole LGBTQ community trying to groom children into being gay or trans is nothing more than a conservative right-wing talking point that was hammered home by a bunch of brain-dead fucking people who are too stupid to do research. Because it's funny, a lot of people say that a child is more safe in the hands of a drag queen than they are in a church or any kind of religious setting. Think about that for a second. Again, the only people who are saying the LGBTQ community are a bunch of pedophiles and groomers are right-wing conservative pedophile defenders themselves. Nowhere is any child being groomed into anything trans, anything gay, anything LGBTQ at all. But again, what's this? What's this? What the fuck do we call this? Literally going behind parents' backs and injecting Bible verses and religious scriptures into a school's curriculum. Again, if I'm not mistaken, ain't that kind of predatory? Going behind a parent's back and a child's back too. You know what? Fuck it. They're pretty much also going behind the backs of students who are either atheists or support different fucking religions and are pretty much saying, no, you're going to be forced to read our Christian pedophile sex cult bullshit. You're going to be forced to be indoctrinated into a Christian child sex cult ring. What? Again, what the fuck happened to separation of church and state? Because I'm pretty sure that's a thing, Texas. And keep in mind, this is also a state that requires the 10 Commandments, the 10 Commandments, the 10 fucking goddamn demandments to be plastered right in the front of the fucking classroom. Oh, but when it's a pride flag, it's a problem. Why aren't we making this a big giant fucking controversy? Why is it when a teacher hangs a pride flag in their classroom, it's a big fucking problem? But when you've got Texas literally forcing Bible scriptures and literally forcing teachers to put up religious scriptures in the fucking classroom, when do we draw the lines? When do we draw the fucking line? It's hypocrisy. It's fucking hypocrisy. Like, you can't tell me that a community that I'm going to say it is nothing but peace and love and happiness, because I've met a bunch of people from the LGBTQ community. I have family members who are a part of the community. We got an article. Fucking dry throat. Smoked me a fat bowl before this. Oh, I gotta love when weed does that. But what I was going to say before I got a case of the good old dry throat, we have an article from the AssociatedPress.com that is going to give us a little bit more info on this scoop. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. But the article reads, Texas Education Board on Friday approved a required reading list for more than 5 million public school students that includes Bible stories, widening conservative efforts to bring Christian teachings into U.S. classrooms. I mean, it's quite fucking obvious. Fucking A. The state-mandated list of assigned readings, which includes Charles Dickens, Florals Dickens, Warles Dickens, whatever the fuck his name is. Goddamn Dickety Dickens. Great Expectations and excerpts from the New Testament appeared to be among the first of its kind of the nation and will take effect starting in 2020-30. I need water. Ah, that's better. The State Board of Education, which is controlled by Republicans. There you go! Bingo! Approve the list on a 9-5 vote following weeks of contentious debate. Oh, I wonder why there was weeks of contentious debate. Maybe because this is a clear fucking violation of separation of church and goddamn state. It's common sense. Really, it's common fucking sense. This is a clear violation of separation of church and state. Simple. Just like requiring teachers to post the 10 goddamn fucking commandments on the wall. Like, come on, people. What are we doing? Like, this is just... It's the hypocrisy is on a whole new fucking level. Like, shit. But the article goes on to read that, again, Texas put at the center of wrangling over the role of religion in public schools. Last year, Texas became the largest state to also require teachers to hang the 10 commandments in every classroom. I don't mind if we just make Texas its own country. We can gladly do that, you know? Oh, this is just... The board this week was also considering new social studies curriculums that draws lines between Bible story and American history. So you're telling me we're trying to combine fiction with actual American history now? What? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Beyond objections over Bible readings, the mandate drew backlash from teachers who criticized losing the ability to decide what their students will read, although they are still allowed to assign additional books during the school year. Oh, and here we go. Here we fucking go. Because this idiot says, I don't have a problem reading about David and Goliath because I believe in those stories. Fuck are David and Goliath? Fucking religious stuff or something? I don't know. Said Ashley Dent, Harvey Dent's long lost daughter. No, I'm just kidding. A high school English teacher in the Dallas area. But if I'm reading to one of my students, they're Muslim or they're atheist, I can say all day long, well, we're teaching a theme. We're teaching symbolism. But they're hearing this is a Bible story. We're talking about God. Like, come on. Oh, and here we go. Here we go. Supporters of the changes have argued that Judeo-Christian traditions were fundamental to the nation's founding, and that should be reflected in public school. So that's their excuse for going behind parents' back and grooming children into religion? That's their excuse? Again, sir, ma'am, whatever the fuck species you are, I'm pretty sure there's a thing called separation of church and state. Have you heard of it? Because it's clear you haven't. Oh, but get this shit. Oh, God. These timeless works, including biblical passages, have shaped American culture and history and have influenced generations of thinkers, leaders, and citizens, and they continue to offer valuable lessons about human nature, venture, liberty, and civic responsibility. Mandy Dorgan, whatever the fuck that bitch's name is, a senior fellow at Texas Policy Foundation, a conservative think tank. Oh, yeah, well, that explains it. This is... Oh, wow. This article goes on to read, Texas, which educates roughly 1 in 10 of the nation's public schools, has been at the forefront of a charge by conservatives to incorporate more religion into classrooms. In other words, find more ways to groom your child into Christianity. Yeah. And more ways to ignore separation of church and fucking state. Because again, if I'm not mistaken, that exists, right? Does that not exist in Texas? Does separation of church and state not exist in fucking Texas? I don't think it does. No, I don't think it does. Because at the rate we're going here, that's what it looks like. The state also allows public schools to hire chaplains to console students and has approved optional biblical infused curriculum. What? So now we're hiring people to help groom the kids? They're hiring literal fucking groomers. Huh. What do you know? Brooke Mazel, a retiree from Lubbock, whatever the fuck it is, was among a large crowd that packed a meeting of education board this week in Austin, saying her children and grandchildren grew up with strong faith in family values and backed the required titles. So, in other words, they were groomed into believing falsehoods and manipulation. Got it. America should celebrate our 250 years that started as a nation of unwavering Christian. No. 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 This country was not found on pedophilic Christian values. No, thank you. No, thank you. Nope. Real American patriots don't want that. Nope, we're good. Fuck you. A state law passed in 2023 required a mandatory list of at least one literary work to be taught in each grade level. The new list contains around 200 texts, including Bible passages, essays, and books far in excess of that requirement. Some Garcia motherfucker, president of the National Council of Teachers of English and Stanford University professor, said he doesn't know any other state with a mandatory reading list that includes religious texts. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, maybe because there's a thing called separation of church and state. Have you heard of that? Huh? I mean, gee, I wonder fucking why. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because, again, a thing called separation of church and state exists. What? Dog. What the fuck is this? Educators at the district and school level usually choose the texts their students will read, Garcia said. Casey Meehan, director of PEN America's Freedom to Read program, agreed the move was unique to Texas because, again, Texas does not care about separation of church and state. Picture book stories for elementary school. No. And they call the trans community, the gay community, the lesbian community, the LGBT child groomers when we're literally giving children pop-up books of Christian propaganda. After this, I never want to hear another fucking person say that the LGBTQ community grooms children and is trying to force them to become gay. I never, ever want to hear that again. After this shit right here. Literal fucking picture book stories for elementary students, including David and Goliath, Daniel and the Lion's Den, are required on the reading list. What? By fourth grade, students will encounter passages about Jesus in the New Testament. E.B. White's Charlotte's Web would be assigned to third graders. No, this isn't child grooming at all. No, this definitely isn't going behind parents' back and indoctrinating them into a religion that they probably don't support. No, that's not what this is at all. No. Come on. Like, come on. Article goes on to read, in middle school, students will be expected to read passages about Jesus, including his most famous sermon, and another where he instructs people to cast aside earthly anxiety and seek the kingdom of God. No, that's not child grooming. No. 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 That's not child grooming at all. No. But the trans community is trying to groom our children into becoming trans. The gay community is trying to groom our children into becoming gay. Really? Really? Then explain this? Then explain this? Explain this? And then here's the high school level. Here's the high school level. For high schoolers, the list requires the reading of specific Bible passages as supportive materials for literacy works, including works by Dickens and Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. No. But the LGBTQ community are groomers, right? Right? We're trying to groom your kids into being gay, right? We're trying to groom your kids into being trans, right? Right? Texas law, here we go. Texas law does let parents remove a child from a class or activity that conflicts with their religion or moral beliefs. But still, they'll have to learn about. So that really doesn't mean anything. That really doesn't mean anything because children will still have to learn about the Bible and learn about religious bullshit. Because it's embedded within the school's curriculum. So no matter whether they opt out of it or not, they will still have to learn about it. The list mandates that students reading Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Julius Caesar also read a eulogy for President Ronald Reagan, written by former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Some conservative motherfucker. And some Bond person who teaches college and advanced high school English courses in Fort Worth, Texas, said having a state reading list can close the gap between what students learn in different areas. Yeah, let me fix that for you. Let me fix that. He basically says having a state reading list can close the gap so we can control what your child is learning. There we go. Fixed it. You know? Oh my God. Although the list for high schoolers is pretty solid for a study of classics, she said, the list is very old and very white. It is very narrow and does not represent what classrooms in Texas look like, she said. Going through the most of high school without her having much value put into voices. That sounds like yours kinds of sends a message that your voices aren't valid. Wow. It's just, again, it's the hypocrisy of right-wing Republicans, Christians, and all those people saying that, again, the LGBTQ community are trying to groom children into being trans or gay, but yet you literally have the state of Texas manipulating the state's curriculum so they can force Christianity upon your children. Come on, people. Wake the fuck up. Anyways, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that is going to do it for this video. We're back. Don't worry, we are back. No more bullshit. No more we are back. For sure. Make sure you guys follow me up on Twitch, JMosier710, and of course on Kick, JMosh420. Y'all know what to fucking do. There's some lit times down there. But that's gonna do it for this one. I'll see you on the next one.